Hi, my name's Andrew Strenk. I'm with Strategic Planning Concepts International out of Tustin, California, and I'm glad you're joining us again for another exploration of the changing world of retail. Today, we'd like to talk about food trucks. What are food trucks, and why should you care? They are essentially mobile restaurants on wheels, and they're selling street food. What is street food, you ask? Well, street food initially was any food that could be prepared quickly on the spot and eaten with your hands. No knives, forks, spoons, other utensils were needed. So it was pretty simple. It was simple to prepare and it was simple to consume. The appeal was that the spices and the sauces that were used were often a lot stronger and used a lot more liberally than was the case in sit-down table service restaurants. And so the food often was very, very tasty. Over time, the menus have expanded, and while some food trucks still sell only street food, the fact is that many of them have much more complex menus now. Menus tend to be flexible and changing. That's an important aspect of food trucks. It adds to their novelty and their newness. Food trucks are essentially the F&B equivalent of pop-ups. If you didn't see it, we have an earlier video on pop-ups. They come in all shapes and all sizes. You can find food trucks that are small trucks, they're vans, they're RVs, they're horse trailers, they're buses, some are even towed units. They started decades ago as catering trucks, but these largely sold pre-prepared food. Not much was freshly prepared. Taste was often pretty generic, more or less the same as, airline food. Not so very tasty. But there were also at the time taco trucks, but they weren't very many of them. They were generally only in areas with large Hispanic populations in the United States. The food was freshly made, however. It was quite tasty, but it was kind of hard to find them before the advent of the mobile phone with GPS. You had to know in advance where they were, and that generally meant you had to live in the neighborhood, and they generally are only in very specific neighborhoods. These taco trucks originally sold, as the name implies, tacos, but over time, most of them added other Mexican food items. The arrival of the smartphone with GPS was a total game changer here for food trucks. The development of various social media apps went along with that. And what this meant was that now food trucks could broadcast their location to their customers, and customers could quickly alert all of their friends as to where they were if they discovered some great food at a food truck at any given moment. Food trucks in the past found it difficult to park on major thoroughfares, so they were usually on side streets or secondary or tertiary roads, and these could be difficult to find for anyone who didn't live in the immediate neighborhood. With GPS, however, the customer can now instantly know exactly where any food truck was at any given time and follow their phone's directions to get there. The result was a dramatic increase in popularity. For chefs without much capital backing, food trucks have become a way to get into the F&B game without having to fund a multi-million-dollar bricks and mortar operation and sign a multi-year lease. For established restaurants, food trucks became a way to test out new menus and cuisine, a kind of floating laboratory, if you will. Food trucks also become a kind of express marketing platform for some restaurants. It's a way for them to expose their F&B offerings to segments of the population that maybe have never been in their store or their restaurant before. In this case, a chef might develop a half dozen sampler items that can lead customers to decide they want to actually go to the fixed location restaurant. It didn't take long for food trucks to migrate from the streets to other places: industrial parks, office parks, shopping centers, special events, the beaches, sports events. And this experimentation is still going on. There are food trucks in places that regularly host food truck festivals, like the one in Boyle, Germany. We can also find some streets that have become famous for food trucks with more or less permanent food truck operations. Rainy Street in Austin, for example. Some places host food trucks for a predetermined number of hours on a daily basis. Clyde Warren Park in Dallas, for example. Trinity Leeds is a regional fashion mall in England, and they host food trucks and they put them on the second level. If you've never seen this happen, there's some great videos online that will show this, but they have a special lift that they use to raise the food trucks. It's almost a celebration in itself when this happens. And then they rotate the trucks in and out every 6 weeks. Management proactively recruits winners from various street food competitions to participate in the project. Individuals also contract with food trucks to serve parties, celebrations, receptions, reunions, and other events at their homes. Attempts to establish food truck parks, on the other hand, have not generally gone very well. Food trucks really don't do well if they're parked in the same location day after day, week after week, month after month for long periods of time. Many customers in 2022 are seeking new experiences and novelty, and they get bored very easily, so they don't want to go to the same food truck with the same food offerings that were there 6 months ago. So, in summary, food trucks can be part of any streetscape. They can be found in a lot of different operational environments. They add color, they add variety, and particularly add good food. Good food attracts lots of people. So thank you for joining us, and stay tuned as we continue to explore the fast-changing world of retail. Have a good day.